All right, returning to the federal election, let's bring in Scott Reid, our CTV News political commentator and former director of communications to then Liberal Prime Minister Paul Martin. Scott, thanks as always for joining us.
Morning, Roger.
Day 7, so the first week, what stands out? First week, what stands out for you?
I laugh because this week feels like it's been an eternity. And
I thought you did, and then I looked at you, and you were so straight-faced. I'm like, did you not laugh there?
No, I was definitely laughing and shaking my head. I mean, it's been a remarkable first week of a campaign because we've seen so many things we haven't really seen before. When this campaign began, we were all working under the assumption that it was the Conservatives to lose and that Pierre Poilievre was in the lead. Those polls have now reversed. It looks like Mark Carney and the Liberals are ahead. And of course, this week, toward the end of the week yesterday, we saw Donald Trump and tariffs and trade and threats crash into the election. The Prime Minister had to quit being a candidate, become Prime Minister twice this past week. That hasn't happened since wartime. So it's been an extraordinary circumstance. And I think for me, the big takeaway is that it cements the idea that no way, no how is this election going to be about anything other than Donald Trump and our relationship with the United States.
And who is this helping with Carney dealing with Trump the way he's having to put the Prime Minister's hat on? Is that helping Carney? Is that helping the Conservatives?
I think it's pretty clearly helping Carney. We're seeing the threat of Trump almost intimidate large groups of voters. So if you think about the incredible collapse we've seen in New Democratic votes, they seem to be charging to Carney, saying, look, if we need to protect ourselves, our jobs, our economy, maybe it's better to have this former governor of the bank and economist. The Bloc Québécois, an astonishing collapse there also. We're seeing their numbers drop by 10, 12%. And it does not feel like the Conservatives in the rest of the country can kind of get in gear with this campaign. Even yesterday, as the Prime Minister was calling Donald Trump and the threat of trade tariffs and chaos was everywhere, he was talking about a crime announcement. Nothing wrong with having a crime announcement, but it was a very typical, this could be any day on any campaign. I'm just going to ignore the storm around us. And it doesn't feel like that's connecting with voters.
How do you break it then if you're a Conservative?
I think they're going to have to come to grips with the fact that Trump is going to dominate this election, that Trump is going to drive people's votes. And there's only one answer to all of that, and that is for Pierre Poilievre to convince Canadians that he, not Mark Carney, is the best person able to manage the relationship with Donald Trump in the United States. If he fails that test, he loses. If he wins that test, then the campaign is his.
Yeah, one last question. We're almost out of time. But they're campaigning today, but Carney is fairly quiet. Do you think that will be the Liberal plan to kind of minimize exposure for him, or do they want to get him out there more?
I think it'll be a mix. You know, my gut is that with things moving well in their favor, and we'll probably anticipate that yesterday's events will see an uptick in the polls 2-3 days from now. They're very happy to grind this campaign out, to have fewer eventful days, more uneventful days. In essence, if they think they have a lead, they want to bank it. They want to keep the campaign on kilter and get to April 28th as fast as possible.
Okay. Scott, thank you as always.